Cheers, I do buckaroos. How the heck are you? I am Tom the Whiskey Whisperer. For the purposes of this video, as I try to fix something real fast, and it didn't work. Let's try this again. It's a matter of time, you know. There we go. The rest will follow. Got some jalopy playing in the background. If you can hear it, bear with me. I'll be right with you. There we go. Now it's working. Okay. Anyways, I digress. I set up two cocktails. Took a little break because uh, had dinner and everything, so I did a little later video today. But I had an idea to do a couple versions well, do a couple different cocktails with you, being similar ingredients, not exactly the same. But anyway, so the first one I've got is a version of a martini using about 3 ounces of the American Navy Strength Gin from Still 630 in St. Louis. Matter of time, you know. So I've got the gin. I've also got about a 1/4 ounce of some lemon tarragon simple syrup. Want to do lavender, but my lavender didn't. My wife was doing some herbs. Lavender didn't come up for some reason, so I did the lemon tarragon. Show you how this looks. So nice little martini-like cocktail. It's a cute little glass, isn't it? I was going to use a white whiskey for this, so I was using just whiskey products, but really want to use this gin, especially with this lemon tarragon, because this is a very, very herbal gin, but it's also has a lot of citrus notes. So I thought it might pair well with that lemon tarragon simple syrup I'm adding just a little bit to. And the same cocktail, I'm going to do a version of an old fashioned using the Whistle Pig Piggyback, the 6-year-old rye at 96.56 proof. Again, using the lemon tarragon simple syrup, some orange bitters. So I wanted to do both cocktails with that simple. So typically you wouldn't use a simple syrup in a martini-like drink, but you might add one ingredient or another. So in this case, I'm just adding a little bit of that lemon tarragon just for a little flavor. Again, and this is a big, big proof gin. So ah, I do like this band. I got to tell you, the first song was "Meanwhile." This song is called "Virginia." It's interesting. I talked to one of the members of the band, Brendan Moore, a while back, and this particular band has a lot of jazz elements, a lot of progressive rock elements as well. And we were talking about different influences. You know, I was to list Steely Dan, and I was talking to him. I said, "You list Steely Dan as an influence, but I like to put a finer point on it and say Jeff Skunk Baxter." And he got excited, like, "Oh yeah, you picked up on that, did you?" Yeah. So I was, sometimes I'm right. But this song, Virginia, we're talking about all the jazz elements, progressive rock elements of this band. I said, when I hear Virginia, though, I hear some country notes, almost a little exile in there. And he said, this was actually written as a country song for another band he was in, but they kind of changed it up a little bit to make it so. So it is interesting. This one's got some country, some jazz, some progressive rock. There's a lot going on in this particular tune, man. This band is, oh man, I tell you what, the more I listen to this album, the more I love it. Jalopies out of Springfield, Missouri. You can find it on various streaming services. I found it on, or I'm listening to it through Spotify, I should say. Oh man. So I'm just using, as you can see, again, we're just working with ingredients I had, not going out the store and buying anything extra. Working with ingredients I have. I'm using a just kind of a lemon peel as a garnish here, and I'm going to use the lemon peel as a garnish. So again, I wanted to combine same elements and do two completely different cocktails. And I'm changing the liquor, right? I'm not using a gin to make an old fashioned, but I didn't want to use whiskey to make a martini either, or rye in this case. Uh, my elbows are feeling a little beat up lately. I'm gonna take some time off next week. Yeah, get myself rested. Get myself. I need to get to where I can get back to my main gig. So I'm trying to get myself in that capacity. But there's a fine line, right? You can't just hit it hard. And say, okay, I'm going to be at this point. Because if you do too much, you kind of impede that healing process. But it is a bit of a fine line. But I've done through all of the PT appointments that my insurance company is willing to pay for. Of course, the doctors always want you to have more. Insurance companies say we're only going to pay for this many. So, and this is kind of where I'm at the moment. They paid for about 5 weeks worth, so hey, we'll take it. We'll take it, man. We'll take it. I mean, I would have liked 8 weeks worth, but I'll take it. I was actually, to be honest with you, I was past all my 8 week goals at 5 weeks. In fact, I was past all my 8 week goals at 4 weeks. To be honest, my last two, we were concentrating more on strength. We weren't concentrating on healing. We were concentrating more on strength and building strength back in that leg and knee. Because your bones and your muscles have to get used to that new knee, right? They do get you up right away. It is interesting how they do it. It's a 1 night overnight stay. They do get you up and practice you on steps the very next day. I mean, right after the surgery, I did the overnight stay, and then that morning, right after breakfast, we did a PT, and then after lunch, we did a PT. Then they send you home. I tried to get off the opioids as soon as humanly possible, so I can do this. So I can do this, man. Yeah, I don't really dig the narcotics. However, near the end, they are nice to help you sleep when you've had rough days, right? When you're in extreme pain, just take it at night just to help you sleep. So, laughter. I really like this tune, man. They're not doing any dates at the moment, unfortunately. So unfortunately, they were doing a lot of dates either just before I went into surgery, then just after, so I couldn't get to any. So, but now that I'm at the point where might be able to go, they're not doing any dates at the moment. So I'm a little bummed by that because I really would like to see this band. I really like them a lot. I gotta tell you. Oh, this makes it nice. Again, I didn't call it a martini per se. It's a martini inspired cocktail, So I am using some simple syrup, which is not something you typically use in a martini. However, well, here's the however to that. The however is we do chocolate martinis and all sorts of other stuff where they're adding all sorts of crap in there. So I don't think I'm too far off the mark, right? Because all I've gotten is this martini is gin, simple syrup, and agave. So I figure I'm pretty close, right? I'm not adding a whole lot of crapola here. But yeah, I wish I had some lavender because that was my. I really wanted to do a lavender simple syrup, a lemon lavender, but my lavender didn't come up for some reason. So anyway, just doing the lemon tarragon. I did a time a while back because we had some time up, but I want to go a different direction. And I do like tarragon a lot. Tarragon gives you kind of that, just a kinder, gentler version of that anise-like flavor and aroma, right? Just a lighter note than anise, but similar flavor and aroma. So adding with the lemon, that make a nice, just try to filter that out of the cocktail because I don't necessarily want those pieces of tarragon in there. But yeah, Sweet Time. I do like this song. Anybody watching, if you have any questions or comments, please put up on the screen. If you would like to be part of the video, let me know, and I'll send you a link, typically via Messenger. But until then, I'm just going to keep talking. So, yes, so what I got going, let me show you this gin one more time. It is the American Navy Strength Gin from Still 630 out of St. Louis. It comes in at 120 proof. So I did add about 3 ounces of this because I like a nice martini, and about a quarter ounce of my homemade lemon tarragon simple syrup. And I will tell you that I use raw sugar. I don't like to use refined sugar for simple syrup. Raw sugar gives you a much cleaner product. Why don't you buy the simple syrup in the liquor store, Tom? Why? Because they have jars of simple syrup. Well, one, it's cheaper to make it at home, and most of those products, some of them use cane sugar, but a lot of them will use high fructose corn syrup, and you don't want that. You don't need that in your cocktail. Quite frankly, you're better off just using cane sugar at home if that's what you choose. But even using raw sugar, it is still cheaper than buying that bottle of high fructose corn syrup at the liquor store. I'm telling you, it doesn't take a lot of money to make it yourself. Equal parts water to sugar. If you do 1 cup of water, do 1 cup of sugar. Depends on how much you want to make, right? Heading out for dinner. I wanted to drop by and say hi from Jason. I'm going to post that comment. Jason, I appreciate you dropping off. Thanks, Ben. I appreciate it. Enjoy your dinner, man. It is Saturday night after all, so there you go. I'm old, so I have dinner long before now. I understand that early bird dinner thing now that I'm an old person. I really understand. uh, Actually, I had dinner about 5:30, so yeah, we like an early dinner here. But yeah, but thanks. I appreciate the comment, man. As we finish this cocktail, get ready for cocktail number two. But trying to get that strength back in my leg. Megan Dorsey says it's too hot here to start dinner yet. I don't know what neck of the woods you're in, Megan. I know it's hot in my neck of the woods, but yeah, I tell you what, I was tired. So we kind of cheated for dinner, to be honest with you. My wife had to run to the store, and I said I was just too tired to fix dinner this evening. So she actually just picked up the southern. Well, I'm in Springfield mode, so you're more southern than I am. Yeah, you're a little more southern than I am. Yeah. So yeah, I actually just picked up. She picked up this uh, shrimp penne and vodka sauce from Sam's, right? With a packaged Caesar salad, and we had that for dinner. You know, so it was kind of a heat and eat kind of night. It was good though. It was like going out food without having to go out, right? It was a nice going out food, but I could sit at home in my easy chair in my underwear. So that was nice, man. Anyways, lunch. So wrap up that cocktail. Bear with me. I'll be right back as I get my second cocktail here. Mercy, Percy. Okay, here we go. Get my second cocktail ready to go for you. This one's almost ready. Here we go. I'm going to use orange bitters. It is a lemon tarragon simple syrup in this old fashioned like cocktail using 3 ounces of the piggyback, about 1 ounce of the simple syrup. I don't, you know, of the bitters that I have, of the bitters that uh, I have cherry, I had orange, I have black walnut. I thought the orange would probably work better for this particular cocktail. So anyway, I'll be right back. Don't leave me. using my one big square cube here into my cocktail. There we go. And that ought to fill that glass up just about perfect. There we go. So here is my old fashioned. Again, I'm using the piggyback. The Whistle Pig piggyback is 100% rye, 6-year-old rye at 96.56 proof. I've got 3 ounces of the rye. I've got 1 ounce of my lemon tarragon simple syrup. Again, I'm using raw sugar, not simple syrup. And I've got a few dashes of Regan's orange bitters. Use whatever bitters you like. If I had a different bitter, I might have tried it. But of what I have available, again, which is cherry, orange, and black walnut, I think this one is most fitting for this cocktail I've got going on. So anyway, sláinte. Oh, cheese biscuits and gravy. That's good. That simple syrup is sweet, man. I gotta tell you. I mean, not sweet as in sweet as sweet as in sweet. I mean, it's good, man. It's very good. Oh, that is really tasty. So the lemon, you definitely get that lemon in there, and that tarragon just balances that lemon a little bit. That little, again, that very light anise-like flavor and aroma really balances the tartness of the lemon. Again, I'm using raw sugar, which gives you a much cleaner, simple syrup. Oh my Lord, that's good. Hammer, how are you? Good to see you. Again, anybody have any questions or comments, throw it up there. If you'd like to be part of the video, let me know, and I'll send you a link, typically via Messenger. Oh my God, that's good. Got some jalopy in the background. I didn't crank it up. I didn't know how loud I need to be for you, so I don't know if you can hear it or not. I can hear it. I can hear it. I can hear it. It's very good. It's very good, man. Mercy, Percy. So it's been an interesting time off of my main gig at work the last 5 weeks or so. Actually, 6 weeks. I took a week off before the surgery, mostly because I just couldn't do my job anymore. I was in such extreme pain that I just needed that last week off. And just going, we had to go up and down stairs constantly, and I was in such serious pain. I just couldn't do it anymore. Chris Cooper, how are you, my friend? I'm going to post your comment. Happy Saturday. What whiskey are you using? I'm going to show you this again, Chris. Uh, uh, so Whistle Pig piggyback. So I'm using a rye in this old fashioned. So Whistle Pig piggyback, 100% rye, 6-year-old rye at 95.56 proof. Let me show you that there so you can get a look at it. So here's the thing. You can find this in every liquor store. In my neck of the woods, it's about 55 to 60 bucks. So here's the caveat to that. I found this at my local Sam's for 37. I was going to say 35, but it did go up. I paid 37 for this last bottle. But every liquor store in town is at least 55, man. Yeah, so yeah, I mean, at 37 bucks, listen, I get it. I want to support the smaller liquor stores or any small business, but I can't justify $25 more, right? So yes. Thanks, Hammer. Appreciate it, man. Well, post your comment there. Thanks for joining in here, sir. I appreciate it. Got that lemon peel garnish, the same as I had in the martini. Again, I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel here, and I'm not saying you can't be more creative. All I'm saying is work with what you got. I think a lot of folks, when they talk about cocktails, seem to make you want to think that you have to do certain things, right, with that cocktail, that you have to use certain ingredients or certain garnishes to make certain cocktails. Now, the truth is you do not. There isn't a cocktail recipe out there that was handed down from God to Moses. These are all ideas. So do anything you want to with them. If you want to go out to the store and spend an exorbitant amount of money on this, that, and the other, hey, man, you do you. But all I'm saying is work with what you've got. And that's what I try to do is work with the ingredients you've got. If you don't have, X ingredient for a garnish, use something else. And again, I had a lemon peel, so I use a lemon peel for a garnish. I had orange bitters, so that's the bitters I use. So work with what you've got. You don't have to go out and spend a lot of money to make a nice cocktail. As long as you have the fine ingredients. So, I mean, you got to have a good whiskey on hand. I'm saying if all you got is Old Pro, yeah, you probably got to go to the store. Yeah, you probably got to go to the store. But yeah, if you've got your main ingredient, everything else you can improvise. Thanks, Chris. I appreciate that. Post your comment there. Chris says wise words. All right, there we go. Yeah, if you've got again, it's like anything else, like cooking even. If you've got good core ingredients, you can kind of improvise with everything else. And that goes with cocktails. If you've got good core ingredients, you can improvise on everything else, right? I have raw sugar, so I was able to make a nice, very nice simple syrup. I had the lemon, I had the tarragon again, so I was able to make the simple syrup I wanted, and I had the good alcohol, so I was able to use that. Would I did I wish I had maybe another this, that, or the other? Yeah, probably, but I was able to work with what I had. I think there's a lot of mixologists out there. Mixologists. It's just I get it. I get it. They want to come up with a word that means more than bartender. I kind of understand it, but the word mixologist just sounds so overly pretentious, right? I think if I was a mixologist, I would make sure everybody called me a bartender. Don't call me mixologist. No, because I just think the word mixologist implies pretension, and I just don't dig it. We've got a little there's a small brewery in town, or they're a bar, but they do brew their own beer, and their tagline is it's not craft beer, it's handcrafted beer. And I thought, man, that is genius. That is just pure brilliance because they took the pretension out of craft beer. And I think that's the issue that I've had the whole time with craft beer is that word. The word craft beer just implies pretentious. Man, I don't know that this is the best old fashioned I've ever had, but it's definitely in the top five. Yeah, I've never made the lemon tarragon. I've done tarragon with other things, and I've done lemon thyme, but lemon tarragon, this works, man. This is very good. And again, sometimes it's just a combination of ingredients, right? Using good core ingredients lets you make a fine cocktail. Lets you make a fine cocktail, man. anyways, anyways, I digress. I'm going to be out of pocket mostly next week. For those of you that know me, know our situation. My wife and I lost our son a little over 10 years ago to cancer, and his birthday is August 11th. So I'm kind of taking next week off of everything, off of life in general, really, because I just don't want to be accountable for anything next week. So I won't do my typical Friday videos that I do. I won't do a Saturday video. Well, I may do a Saturday video. Back to life by then. But I'm gonna lie low mostly all of next week. Really, to be honest with you, I won't have a big social media presence like I typically do, because we're gonna, grieve in whatever way we need to. Wife and I try to be very supportive of each other. Grieving is interesting because you're not always at the same grieving process, even though for my wife and I, it's been the same amount of time, but we all process things differently at different times. So we try to be respectful of the other one for that reason. So yeah, you're not going to hear from me much on social media all of next week until probably Sunday, till we get past August or Saturday, till we get past August 11th, and we'll just see how it goes from there. Just getting past that particular day. Because quite frankly, neither one of us knows how we're going to feel that morning we wake up. There's times one of us or the other one of us, both of us feel like celebrating because it's his birthday. Sometimes one of us or neither one of us want to celebrate because it's his birthday. It's really hard to explain. It is really that complicated, or in some ways that uncomplicated. Sometimes it's just everybody has to get through it the way they have to. There is no wrong way to grade it. People say you have to do these certain steps, or you have to do it this way or that way, or you things get better with time. That's a whole lot of nonsense. That's a whole lot of Anyway, that's a whole lot of horseshit is what that is. And the truth is that there is no end to grieving. You have to go through it your own way. And just because you think your way works best for you doesn't mean it's going to work best for anybody else in your partner. So you have to be very respectful of that. Just because you're at a certain place, it's unfair of you to expect your partner to be at that place. So, anyways, I digress. But at this particular moment, as I finish this cocktail, yeah, I just wanted to let folks know that typically do watch me. You're not going to hear from me much next week at all, especially on the 11th. So anyway, I am Tom, the Whiskey Whisperer, Whiskey Evangelist, prolific whiskey drinker, purveyor of wisdom, and all right, good guy. Thanks, guys. I appreciate you.